Hey there, let's take a look at how a synthesis reaction works. A synthesis reaction is when reactants combine to make a more complex product. So I'm going to write that down. Synthesis reaction. The general equation for a synthesis reaction is A plus B yields AB, and usually it releases energy. Some examples of a synthesis reaction can be sodium and chlorine reacting to make sodium chloride. So that would be our sodium, which we know is a solid, plus some chlorine, which is a diatomic because it's half wrinkled, and it's a gas. That creates 2NaCl, which is a solid, and as you can see, we have two elements combining to form a more complex compound. Sodium is placed into some chlorine gas, and that actually creates the solid sodium chloride. Another example is hydrogen fluoride gas combining with ammonia to make a powder of ammonium fluoride. So the equation for that would be HCl, which is a gas, plus the ammonium, and H3, which is a gas. And over here we have ammonium fluoride. Which is a solid. It's going to be like a powder. So we had hydrogen fluoride gas combining with ammonia to make ammonium fluoride. Let's do an example for balancing a synthesis reaction. Say we want to do potassium and then iodine to make potassium iodide. Alright, so I'm going to write this out first like this. So we have potassium plus iodine yields potassium iodide. And it's a synthesis because from two elements you make one compound. It is in the form of A plus B giving AB. In terms of the elements, we have our potassium plus iodine. It is the half wrinkle, so it's going to have that too. And we have potassium iodide. Now, we do check that this is correct because potassium iodide, we can look over here, potassium needs to lose one electron, and then iodine needs to gain one electron. That's why it's a one-to-one match. So this is correct, but now we need to balance this equation because here we have two iodines, but here we only have one. So what we can do is put a 2 over here and then check. So now we have one potassium and 2 iodine. Here we have 2 potassium and 2 iodine because the 2 is on this whole compound. And so they don't balance yet because of the potassium, so we can just put a 2 over here, and that's going to make 2 potassiums. Another example we can take a look is the synthesis of hydrogen and fluoride. So hydrogen and fluorine gas, H2, the gas is half wrinkled, and then Cl2, which is also a gas, and that's going to give us HCl, which is also a gas. And they are going to be sharing because this one, hydrogen, needs one more electron, and we know that fluorine needs one more electron, but they are both going to be like non-metals, and so they're going to be sharing. This is actually going to be a covalent bond. We still need to balance this though, because here we have 2 fluorines, here we have 2 hydrogens. We can easily just put a 2 over here, and then we also have 2 hydrogens, 2 fluorines now. And we know that this is going to be a synthesis because we had 2 elements. We had a form of A plus B, and it created a more complex compound, AB.